is up, everybody? This is Out of Pocket Sports, and I am cutting to you for a little segment for our Tuesday show, and that is stock going up, baby. Stocks are rising. You need to buy right now if you can, because they're starting to go up, and I assume they're going to keep going up. Basically, it's a new segment that I'm going to start doing personally myself. Players who are starting to start to trend up. They're starting to spike up. They're starting to heat up a little bit. When I say heat up, back-to-back weeks, they're dialing it up. So I want you to start kind of putting these people on your radar a little bit and, start getting into it. But remember, most of our things that we do are 12-man PPR leagues, which I guess for this segment, the team league, the amount doesn't matter. It's more about like PPR. That's kind of what we go for in the format that we shoot for. But remember, drop in the comments below, how are you feeling? Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what advice you might need, fantasy advice, like anything we really answer to a T, super quick, super fast. You can check all our old stuff and see we do that. So, yeah, be sure to tune in. But the first person I'm going to get straight into it is Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs, son. He has had a great week this week, and he had only 11 carries. 11 carries as a rusher. And, yes, he did fall into the end zone. But the reason why I say only 11 carries, this is the reason why. He had 11 carries, but his receiving, he had 10 targets out of the backfield for almost 60 yards. And the reason why I say this is a good thing is because right now, currently, David Montgomery is out. He is injured, and he's probably not going to be back till after the bye week. So Jahmyr has one more week with him just having the backfield on his own. He's going to have another good week, I assume, because they're not going to rush Monty out there. They're trying to win some games, especially towards the back half of the year, and they're going to try to be a playoff team, which they are going to be. So with Jahmyr Gibbs, the way to kind of think about him is this. He got it done today against a team that was really good as far as against the run. But the biggest thing is that when Montgomery comes back, he's still going to have all these targets. His floor is still going to be there. And Dan Campbell, he talked about before, he's like, we really need to lean on him to help get us through this time. And it will be a little interesting to see what happens when Monty gets back. But for the show, stock's rising. I can tell you right now, Gibbs is rising, and he is a rookie running back, and rookie running backs tend to break out later in the season. Remember Breece Hall last year, right at this time when he was going on a tear? Then he got hurt. This could be the same thing for Gibbs. Now, the next person I'm going to go to is Mr. Hunt. Kareem Hunt scored 2 touchdowns today against Indianapolis Colts, and guess what? You got to buy into this guy because he already knows the offense, and I believe, too, Jerome Ford, he left with an ankle injury. So who else is back there? All I see is Hunt. And Watson's got to come back at some point. Even if he doesn't come back, today you saw it, Kareem Hunt can still be viable on your fantasy roster in a situation where RBs are so bad right now. So you really need to keep an eye on him, maybe shoot some targets. Some people might be trying to trade high on him possibly. And I think especially if Ford is out, this is someone you need to pick up because he pass catches, and they love using him around the red zone. They used it before they traded, or not traded him, before they dropped him the year before. So Hunt's on my radar, baby. He's rising. He's rising good. And another person we're going to talk about is Mr. JSN. Broke out today. I mean, don't get me wrong. He only had, I think it was 4-3 catches today. But he got into the end zone. He got 16.1 points in a PPR format. And guess what? That's a little bit of a breakout for a rookie. He's starting to come on the rise. Now, when you see these rookie wide receivers beginning of the year, they just don't get used that much. I mean, you had people like Addison and you had people like Zay who were kind of in situations where they needed someone to be there. Seattle, they didn't need somebody. I mean, they had Metcalf, they had Lockett, and they just have a lot of other people in that kind of wide receiver core and tight ends that can get it done, and Geno's good at getting to him. But with JSN, he was injured in the beginning. He had the little hand issue, and then they went into the bye week, and, it was like, it's just rest up. And now he came out of this, and Metcalf was down this week. I'll give you that. Metcalf was down, so it will be interesting to see how it all is when they get back to all being together. But I think he's continuing to not continue, but this is his first mark where he is going to take it to the next level, and he's going to start continuing to build up on this last thing. Now, next week, possibly he could go out there and maybe not put up a double-digit game, but he is going to start progressing to where end of the season you might want to have him on a roster for this fantasy championship because I see Tyler Lockett slowly drifting off and I see JSN slowly getting pushed in. Don't get me wrong, I like Tyler Lockett, but JSN is that guy. Next person we're going to talk about is JT, baby. He's starting to take over these snaps in his show today. They played a Cleveland defense who has absolutely been the dogs of the league, as Mr. Pat McAfee would say. And I'm going to say it again. They have been the dogs because they are the dogs. He got it done today. He scored plenty of points for you on a PPR format. And guess what? Moss is going into the abyss, just like how we expected. JT got the bag, and now he's on the rise. He is churning and he's burning. If you could somehow, some way pull him from some team, I mean, that would be tough. But I really think his end of year is going to be juicy, juicy, juicy. It's going to be top 4 at least running backs, and they're going to feed him. Moss is still going to be there. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be Moss just completely dies. He is going to probably get to like a 30% kind of holding it back there, and then JT is going to have that 70%. But he was the number 1 overall pick just about a year ago. So let's remember this. He's got that. He's got that in the tank, and he showed it today against one of the best defense in the league, and his stock is on the rise. The last person I'm going to have right now is Mr. Darren Waller. Today, he went off because he finally got a touchdown. He finally scored because Tyrod's in there. Daniel Jones, he's not that guy. I knew he wasn't that guy. As a Philly fan, it made me feel so good that they paid so much money for him because I knew he was going to be around and we'd get more doves each year with having him at the QB. But with Tyrod currently right now, he was feeding the ball around, and guess what? Mr. Waller got in today. So it's just kind of a proof that, a lot of that all-season hype, we're starting to slowly see it creep up. And the reason why, you look at it right now, like last week he kind of had an week. I think he only had about 8 points. And the week prior he had a week where he got about like 16. So this tight end, tight ends are such a bad zone to be in. But with Darren Waller, we all know he has that talent, and we know this offense is struggling. But with Saquon on the field, this offense has been a lot better. They are starting to get a lot. Now, I'm not talking about a lot better to where they're some Miami Dolphins offense. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying they have gone from where they were in the kind of contention with Mac Jones to where, they're kind of in the Cardinals area to where they're not a great team, but they can put up points and they can get people who can be on a fantasy spot. So I like picking up, or not really picking up, but just trying to scout and trying to find a way to get Darren Waller on teams or just keep him on the roster because I really think he is going to continue to build upon the success. And tight end is so bad now that you kind of try to find these little people that you can put in your roster and that can help you at least compete with the Mark Andrews and the Kelseys out there. So get dialed in. Let me know if y'all like this little bit of segment, but this was the stock rising segment, baby, and we're going to keep dialing in and stay tuned for Out of Pocket Sports coming up this week. Peace.